We're live.
All right. Well, welcome into the fantasy recap for the In Memory of Tebowing League. I'm with my host and co-producer here, Ben. Ben, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Travis. How you doing? Hey.
Man, I'm doing good. We got the Packers. Packers tomorrow. Gonna take Kiki's money. Life is good.
Yeah, that's an exciting Thursday night matchup. I love the matchups that we've had so far. They've been electric, obviously getting us warmed up and getting us into the season. And this Green Bay Washington matchup is gonna be something else.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at the spread. Packers are favored by 3 points. Can't believe Kiki didn't ask for 3 points, 3.5 points. But
Yeah,
either way.
I think that's generous. I think this is gonna be a tight one.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably home point or being home. It's got to be a part of it. But all right, let's get into the agenda. So looks like we're gonna start off with booms and busts of the week. So let's start on a good note. I like my dessert first. Ben, who's your boom player of the week?
I've got you. The boom player is none other than last year's MVP, Josh Allen. I mean,
Josh Allen.
and I bring up Josh Allen, and it leads me to ask the question is, can a quarterback be a league winner in fantasy? I don't think we hear that talked about nearly enough. I think we hear a lot of Christian McCaffrey. If he's healthy, he's a league winner. Jamar Chase and what he did last year, league winners. You hear a lot of these flex type players being league winners. But when you've got a quarterback that's averaging in the 20s of points consistently, that's putting up 38 points in a game against Baltimore, I gotta wonder, is Josh Allen potentially, or any quarterbacks potentially capable of being league winners in fantasy football? And do they
I mean,
deserve an earlier draft pick for it?
so thinking about this year, I took him in the third round just to make sure that I had that onesie position that is just better than everybody else's. You don't have to think about, who you're going to start to sit it and forget it lineup. And then to give you 38 points in week one to, not only beat Lamar, but to show an MVP performance like that coming off your MVP season, like, hey, that's that big white boy.
Yep, exactly. And I took him in another league. I took him in the third round, and obviously I'm not regretting it at all. And another thing to mention is that quarterback position you don't see move around as much. You don't see people making waiver moves necessarily. If you're making a waiver move on a quarterback, it's probably because you took one very late and now you're scrambling to have some confidence in who you start. And I don't even see these guys being traded very often as much as I do other positions. I think it could be the tone setter for your fantasy season and could be your fantasy league winner.
I mean, there's only maybe like a handful, maybe four quarterbacks that you can really just put in that top tier and not really be concerned about what a matchup is. And, you know, it's good to have these guys. That's why we took them. That's why we smacked Angel around. You know, life is good again up at the top, baby.
It is. It certainly is. But okay, let's take it down. You've got a bust for this
All
week.
right, yeah.
Who are you
So,
shitting on?
I mean, it's none other than Kiki. It's going to be the topic of this podcast this week. But Jamar Chase, number one overall pick in fantasy, most platforms, everywhere I've seen it, it's been Jamar Chase. Give
Yeah.
you 4 points in a PPR, full PPR is you don't overcome something like that week one, and the record shows that 4 points ain't going to get it done, and Joe Burrow and T Higgins need to keep it up, keep the foot on the gas, and not
Yeah,
not be that bad.
I totally agree. And the story's further than just 4 points, right? You're talking about a guy who played 87% of the snaps, who got 5 targets and only 2 receptions. Obviously, he didn't give very many yards. I think it got him at 26 yards total. And they ended up. What was the score of that game? They
Like
did.
17 to like 10 or something like that, 17
Yeah.
13. Like they
So they,
squeaked it
they
out.
squeaked out a win, but my goodness, for a guy that you're taking 101, his draft position this year was consensus 101, maybe 102, and he comes out like that. That's
It's
that's
unacceptable.
that's tough.
It's
That's tough.
unacceptable. I
Some
mean,
some would say, if you were in the position to take 101, might be a
you're
genius
gonna
move to
go
trade it away. might be a good move to trade it away. I don't know. I don't know if anybody did that in this.
Dude, I know some guy who's 1-0 who
Did I
did that,
did I do
and the
that?
guy that traded for the number one pick is 0-1. So
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
that was a good move.
I didn't want to take Jamar Chase. I said it before. I traded away to avoid it. I feel I get it. I get taking it. How do you not? Sometimes you get peer pressured into it, but he's got a lot to make up throughout the season. Also, the matchup was not difficult.
No, it was the
A
Browns.
Cleveland
It's the
Browns
lowly
matchup.
Browns.
A Cleveland Browns matchup. If he doesn't do something against Jacksonville, I mean, you're in full panic mode.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got Joe Burrow in another league, and I'm even like a little concerned.
Yeah, I would be too. That goes back to saying how powerful is it to have that one
Josh
quarterback, especially in our
Allen,
league. We got a one
Ertz.
quarterback league. If you're in a two quarterback league, it's honestly might be even more valuable. But in
Oh
a one
yeah.
quarterback league, knowing who you're going to start day in and day out, it makes a difference.
Definitely does. Definitely does. But all right. So, booms and busts of the week, brought to you by ESPN. Moving on to the next topic here, we got key matchup results. So, last week's matchup of the week, according to the power rankings here, was the Simpson matchup between you and Trey. So let's go back to week one and rewind the clock and tell us what happened.
I'd love to.
Yeah, let me figure out how to get to that. There we go. Week one, baby.
Yeah, let's
Week
scroll down
one.
here.
125 to 103. Top performers for you. Mayfield 22 and Jigba 19. Bucky Overing 14.
Yeah, I think that tells a good story. I mean, obviously, a win's a win. I got it out a little bit more than I thought it was going to be close. I thought it was going to be closer than it was. Where we go back on the yeah, you on the overview
Yeah,
here.
here's overview for you and Trey in that matchup.
Yeah, I've been on about Baker cooking, Bucky. Not the quickest
A
start, but
Bucky
he did
Mayfield
get that
stack, dude.
touchdown. I called that, right?
You
Not
did, you
you
did.
don't see it often, a
Draft
quarterback
night.
running back considered as a stack there, but Bucky, I think what brings his value is his catching. His catches, his little receptions, dump off passes, and then his yards after the catch and being able to make a play like he did. Yeah, I mean, it was nothing exciting here. I think as much as I won it, Trey kind of lost it. Just a couple of his players didn't perform. You're going to see that week in and week out in fantasy. That's kind of what we
Brian
live and die
Thomas,
by.
another buzz candidate, nine
Brian
points,
Thomas,
man.
another bus candidate. I mean, I
He didn't get in the end zone. He has a worse week, Jamar Chase, and we're not talking about Jamar Chase. We're talking about BTJ.
That's right. And then you see things on the bench. You obviously, have the candidates of the Hollywood
Hollywood
Brown,
Brown.
Kincaid being a better tight end on his bench, things like that.
Oh,
So maybe a little bit of management mistakes in there, but you can't
it's that
predict
rookie
everything.
pressure. He's here. He's here in the big leagues now.
He's here. He got a warm welcome, warm introduction. It took a hard first L, but he's going to move on. So it's only week one. I can't get too excited about it. I was happy to be featured in the matchup of the week. Obviously, bright lights and everything. Glad that we came out with a win there, but all of our focus is on next week.
All right. Who else do you want to highlight on this week?
You know
Maybe a
what?
top performer.
I've got some. Yeah, top performer. I got to give credit where credit's due. Our last year's champ, none other than you, Travis, of course, came out, and I think you made a big statement in week one. I mean, 160 points, that's pretty crazy. We talked about Josh Allen and the power that he has and what he brought. Obviously, you got him stacked here with McCaffrey. To have a Josh Allen quarterback and a healthy Christian McCaffrey.
Healthy
Now,
Christian
now
McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey was a boom in my eyes. At 23 points is not always considered a boom for CMC, but going into a week where you're questioning about is he going to play? Is he over an injury? Is he going to be limited? They got Brian Robinson Jr. now. How's that going to affect his usage? All of those things considered, the guy goes out and puts up 23 points, and I don't even think he got a touchdown in that,
Nope.
right? No,
Touchdownless.
that's a boom. Who else you got? Puka Nacua.
Yeah,
I
that's a
mean,
big
Puka
addition.
Nakua, we're seeing stars coming out of LA, right? We went straight from the Cooper Cup run right into Puka Nakua, and he's just, I mean, he's just a young stud, and he's obviously proven it. I mean, he's growing into that position and just not stopping. I gotta be the first to say I wasn't seeing Puka Nakua at the value that he was at this year, and he's certainly earned every bit of it in his week one matchup. A rookie candidate. Everybody was
Rookie.
so hype on him, and he comes out and performs like that in the first week.
Yeah, I
Impressive.
remember draft night, man. I got some eyebrow raises whenever you guys saw me take him super early.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
the
wanted him.
eyebrow raise
I didn't.
was a raise of frustration. I was eyeing him. He was on my list, and to have the confidence that you did to go up and get a guy so that you don't have to worry about anybody else getting him. You might have spent a
Had to
round extra
early.
ADP on him, but right now it doesn't matter.
It
Right
proved me
now it
right
doesn't
right
matter at
away.
all. It proved you right. Let's talk a little bit too about your bench. How's your bench looking? Your depth. You've got
Not good,
Javonte
man.
Williams on there, which just got traded away.
Hey,
Um,
recent trade, big
excited to
performer.
see how that goes. I don't know yet whether that was a fluke or not. But
I mean, he had 71% snap share. 15 carries, 3 targets and 2 tuds. The 2 tuds put you in the 20-point range. But like, I
exactly,
mean, if we look at people like Ken Walker, like he split super big time. Didn't have as many touches as Javante. And the Cowboys are going to score points regardless if we, say they're a bad team or not. Like they're going to be a good offense. And Javante Williams is going to have goal line work. He's going to have some targets, which helps in that PPR format. And he's going to be someone that is probably going to be a flex play
you're
and could
right.
be more, could blossom into something more.
You're right. He has what you want to see. He has potential, and that's what we're buying on after week one. You're buying on potential.
Yep, 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 yep. All
Let's move
right.
away. Let's move away from obviously your impressive week and who just flopped this week. We had two
Oh,
really. Channing, obviously, in a tough position. Mr. Deployment. I struggle to know whether he's tanking his team or he's just actually stuck in a literal army tank somewhere and can't properly manage it. I don't know. But
uh,
he took a hit, right? He had AJ Brown 1.8 points. He had T Higgins 6 points. He had the Ravens defense. I don't know if that's a manager error. You play any
against
defense
Josh Allen.
against the
Yeah.
Bills in a matchup like that on Sunday
Also
Night
doesn't have a
Football.
kicker. His kicker's on the IR.
Kickers hurt, just struggling, and that simply is not going to be a team that's going to perform without an active manager. So
Well, that's what I'm
we'll
saying.
have to see
Like
how that plays out.
when the power rankings go into like are considered, there's a lot of thought that goes behind this. I'm not just talking about your last week. I'm not talking about your starting roster. I'm looking at your bench. I'm thinking about, are you even managing your team? Like that's a big part. So not to give too much information into the power rankings, but that goes into it. So
Okay,
um
I want to touch on a team real quickly that is managing their team, has a competent amount of ball knowledge, yet still kind of fumbled here. You know who I'm talking about?
gotta be
No,
him, right? No,
no.
what are we talking
Marcos
about?
Rivera.
Oh, the net
Los
us lower.
Chihuihuis.
Lowest. Oh damn, I didn't think anybody was gonna get worse than
Los
Kiki
Chihuihuis second
Marcos.
lowest. And this is the guy who really knows ball. This is the guy who's
Knows ball.
very studied in
Big
sports.
gambler.
Now, the biggest one, the tough one, which we can touch on more, is injuries. Obviously, he got hit with the Xavier Worthy. I was guilty of it in another league. Really hurt. Probably cost me. Third play of the game, and you get taken out by your
Your
own
own guy.
guy. That is tough. Now, Genty, a running back, rookie running back on a notoriously bad team right now, and he underperformed with 12 points last week.
What was his like stat line? If we're taking a look at it. 19 carries, 38, two a carry. That's trash.
Yeah, it's not good.
Two a
Um,
carry. Damn, dude, I might be able to get like one.
I
I
wouldn't
could
go
do
that far.
50% of Genty's production for like pennies on the dollar.
Wouldn't count on it. Would not count on it. But I think he does have opportunity. I think he will manage better, and I don't think that he's going to stay in this last place position. I think that was an instance of fantasy football got the best of him. A tough first week, but I'm confident he'll bounce back. What I'm not confident of is how he's going to do on the push-ups and the chug. But boy, am I excited to see it. So expecting that before the next week. He was the loser of the week if
Got to
we are going
eat
to
before
negate
kickoff.
Channing for his service.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be
Thank you
looking
for your
forward to
service,
seeing
Channing.
Marcos.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chan.
All right, brother. Let's get on to injuries here. So, gonna highlight just three, probably in our opinion, the biggest injuries of the week. First and foremost, being Kittle. Some would say tight end one to the IR for a minimum of 4 weeks with a hamstring. Did get you 10 points in like the first drive, which is crazy. Ten
Yep.
points in the first 5 minutes of the game, and then
Well,
goes
he he
out.
was he was very quick to do what Kittle does, and that is end zone work. He caught a touchdown really quickly, and I lit up when I got the notification for the league that I have him in, and I went, yeah, I made the right call. I drafted Kittle a little bit early, but I said tight end position sometimes can be tough to find somebody that you're confident in. I went and got him, and I was so excited that he got that touchdown so early on, and then obviously it went downhill from there with a hamstring injury at his age. Not something you like to see.
And also, like going back to the onesie position and how important it is to just have a positional advantage at tight end and quarterback. Like Kittle is that positional advantage. And I mean, if we really look at Kiki's team here, like you definitely can tell it's been constructed to have Kittle as a positional advantage. So him getting banged up in week one and being out minimum of 4 weeks is definitely going to be tough on Kiki. But he did luck out with Travis Etienne and the Tanks Bigsby trade.
Yeah,
So that's a big bonus for Kiki. RB1 maybe, like top 12 finish from Etienne. He's done it before.
yeah, we could very well see it. Getting rid of Tank as that backup there, and not even a backup. They were splitting carries, weren't they, towards the end of
Yeah,
last
supposed
season? I
to.
know I know that
Yeah.
Etienne did carry most of the work. I got to think that they were in preparation
Where's
of
his
trading him,
weird
and that was probably why.
for stats? I'm curious. So you came in the league 2022, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, and then 2024 just shit the bed, and then maybe we're back to that 1,000-yard season form, and Kiki gets himself a sneaky good late pick that might turn out to be quite nice.
Yep. Only time will tell. He's got a couple others he's got to work on though. Whereas he may have gotten lucky with the ETN. I think he got unlucky with Kenneth Walker. Just seeing how they split the backfield in the usage there. He also had Pacheco who did not have
Five
a
carries,
good
right?
starting
Like that.
game. So he's definitely still gonna have some work to do. But
Probably the next biggest injury's got to be Worthy. I know we touched on it, third play, but like that hurts. That's a wide receiver two. Mark is a wide receiver one that he needed. That hurts. That does hurt.
yeah, yeah, it does. Especially, on an offense like the Chiefs that they're going to move the ball, that they're going to utilize Patrick Mahomes. They're going to be airing out the ball. You got a guy who is Tyreek Hill-esque, I would say, small, fast, and I guess maybe not as deep of a runner as Tyreek was. I don't know if Worthy works as much on the goes like he was, but still, you got to think of what his usage was going to be while Rice was out. I think that was the big factor,
That's why you
and
drafted him.
immediately he's gone. And
Hurt.
and who steps up? Hollywood Brown. I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. I
16
really didn't.
targets. Crazy. Crazy.
Immediately
But
took the
all
place.
right, so let's do this. Let's do this waivers recap here. It was a very active, very active week in waivers. I like to see that everyone's trying to get a little bit better, trying to see into the future.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got quite a variety.
Top
I see a
end.
lot of you. You're always throwing a lot on there.
Oh yeah, gotta
That's
spend.
that's how you roll. That's how you roll. I respect it. Kiki dropped a bag, right? We just talked about Kiki had to make some moves, and it looks like he made a big move. He spent
Cute.
153 out of his $500 budget on Quentin Johnston, who obviously had a big game. Now, 2 touchdowns plays a big factor into those points. I don't know if he's going to continue that rate, but
Can he catch?
definitely a high value wide receiver. Definitely going to be someone to keep an eye on to see whether that bet pays off.
Yeah, I mean, damn, outbid me. I thought 76 was gonna get it, but shit.
Yeah, I mean, I put 28 on it myself. I didn't think that was going to get it, but I thought that if it dropped that low, that I wouldn't hate to have him. I'm not as high on him as that, but I gotta respect a guy who makes his mind up, decides he wants a player and goes out and drops the bag to get him. And those kind of things, you hindsight's always gonna be 2020. You're not gonna know till later on whether that was worth it or not. It was either genius or it wasn't. We don't know, but I respect it. It was the only player he bid on, and he made a statement with his bid.
Yeah, and then you got, Jeff here, Dylan Sampson, PPR running back. I think that's going to be a big addition. 85 on his offer sheet. Looks like he did outbid himself. Barry coming in with a $1 bid. That was yeah,
Barry.
dude. Does Barry think that like motherfuckers just aren't like paying attention? We have $500 to spend, brother. Come on now.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
what
not
he
your
thought
real
what he
dollars,
thought
Barry.
in this league. No, I mean Dylan Sampson wasn't super highly sought after
A
in a lot of leagues,
$1.
I'm sure, but yeah, a dollar wasn't going to get it unless Jeff
No.
was sleeping.
I mean, no one else bid it. I mean, shit, I'm guilty of that too. Look at 44 and 44. I was the only bidder on both of these. I could have won these with $1.
You could have, yeah.
Yeah. But I needed depth, so that's fine. But all
Yeah,
right, there's your waiver report.
I snagged
Um,
myself a little tight end for $18, not too
oh
bad.
yeah, Jawan down here.
Jawan
Big targets.
Johnson got a lot of
Big targets.
targets. Barry got
Yeah, this
himself
was
Christian Kirk for $1. Look at that.
dude, hamstring injury. I mean, but the Houston Texans didn't look very good. I mean, they have O-line problems. It's not CJ Stroud. It's the fact that they can't block longer than 3 seconds before they're in
Yeah.
his lap.
Yeah,
Which
what did the receivers look like? How did Nico do this past week? I
not
don't know that
good.
I noticed
Nico's
that.
a bust candidate. He was one of
Yeah,
them but the number one overall pick. But Nico is definitely a bust candidate. I mean,
yeah.
it's
AJ
fucking team.
Brown, big time bus candidate
Oh,
there.
one
That was a
point.
first
Yeah,
rounder. First
yeah.
rounder with one catch. On a team
5 points.
that really put up a lot of points to go beat Dallas.
They're so run heavy, man. They're
Yeah,
so run
well,
heavy.
when you have Shayshawn Barkley, what are you
Jay
gonna do?
Sean.
You're
Yeah,
gonna
I
run the
mean,
ball.
I think I saw something that the Eagles are dead last in neutral pass rate. So, if they're not behind, they're not throwing the ball. Like
No,
it
no. And
doesn't work.
Hurts was really moving his feet that
Hey, he
game.
looked good. Look like he
He
was
did.
fresh week one.
He did.
He was
Quarterbacks are
fresh in week
valuable.
one. All right, man. So we're gonna get to these power rankings to wrap it up here. So last year's, everybody take a look, or last week, excuse me. Um, Tebow. So going into this week, the moment of the week,
Spit on it.
Dak spit on it, and then Carter got caught.
Carter
It's always
did. Well, Carter
always the
spit on
second one.
Dak. Dak spit on the
Yeah.
ground,
Hey, you
Dax
know
was
what he meant.
allegedly at him.
Yeah,
Carter
alleged.
landed.
But
All
all
right, who you
right, going
got?
into these week two power rankings, we got matchup of the week is me versus Barry.
Okay.
I think that's rightfully so. 1-0, 1-0, two of the highest scoring teams of the week. But we do got lots of movement on the power rankings here, and we're gonna bump Russell up to 1. I really like the Keenan Allen pick. Who we all thought he was washed because Caleb Williams sucks, and really he's just still a dog and just needed Herbie. He just needed to go
He
back
did.
home.
He got back home, right? Yeah,
Just needed to go back
back in
home.
LA, that's what he needed, and boy did he return home well.
Yeah. So then we got Barry staying even. I think Barry good performance last week. Stays even. Good bench. I dropped myself down too. I got lots of star power, man, but the bench is the bench is weak. If injuries hit, we might be down here with Angel and Channing. But week up matchup of the week, Ben come out victorious. You go up to power rankings there, buddy.
I like that. I like that. I appreciate it.
+2. Jeff, hey, I told you guys after the draft, I called it last year with Kiki. I said, Kiki, this is your best work yet. Jeff, this is your best work yet. Said it. I think your team's good. I like that you're sending trades. I think you're getting active, and I'm I'm really rooting for you. I'd like to see you to get your first ring, obviously, if I ain't there. But
On
Austin,
just to note real quick on Jeff, I just took a peek at his team and it's very well rounded, but he does have
it
that Brock
is.
Bowers injury. So we'll
But
have to
maybe
see
Bowers.
how he recovers off of that. That's another injury.
I like old Jeffrey's team this year. Bijan real good. Tony Paul. He even has a handcuff with Tajay Spears. That's a big brain move there, Jeffrey. Must have gotten some peyote.
Oh yeah,
Mexico
Vlad
unlocks
Harrison
him
Jr.
in.
He
Nice, dude.
does have
It's
a
good.
good team. He
It's
does
good.
have a
He's
good
got good
team.
bench. These are two big waiver pickups, I thought too. Like all three of these, but like he gets depth at running back just
Yeah,
on the
rounds out his
bench.
depth.
Yeah, yeah, good team.
Yeah,
Like it.
I'd like to see
We
that
got
evolve.
Austin +4 coming up on here. Gets a win. He is the last remaining undefeated team before we start getting to guys that lost. So Austin comes in at 6, big +4. He was good last year. He's good this year. Trey, loser of the matchup of the week, knock you down 1. I like your team, but you did lose. You don't get to be above anybody. That's 1-0. Hunter, by proxy, just moved down. Big mover here is Kiki. You know, we liked him early, but Dak looked kind of rough, and Kittle injury is the main thing. Looking at the new start lineup here, he's got Hunter Henry in, so
I like
Kittle
that.
Kittle hurts.
I like that replacement, to be honest. He picked him up for free today too.
Yeah, yeah, saving them dollars +0, and then he's got Q throwing in Q this week. Calvin Ridley on the bench. Q this week. We'll see if it stays. I'm interested.
Okay, yeah.
I'm interested.
That's a good. Okay, we got manager decisions we got to start considering after this week. See how they play out.
We got Marcos moving down a slot, and our only losing team to rise is Angel. No longer last. Up one spot because he's an active user. That sounded weird, but he runs his fantasy team. Channing by proxy, no manager, last place. We'll see. I hope I play him sooner rather than later. Come back soon, young Channing.
All
But
right, so that rounds out this week's recap. Anything else before we head off and we see these boys again next week?
no, man. Hopefully the Pack get a dub tomorrow, and I get a dub on Monday.
I like it.
All right.